No, for real though, right? I just thought of this.
Okay.
That nigga Trevor really tried to propose doing the butt cheek shot.
Are you married? Boom. That shit was crazy, yo.
Hey, what it do, beautiful people?
Yeah.
Season 2, Unbiased Podcast, episode 2.
Yeah, it
I'm back in the host chair, maybe the first time since like episode 3, I believe. I don't
That's
think
a
I've hosted.
damn lie.
No,
man.
Shavis took over as the host. I think we all agree with it, but I don't think I've hosted an episode
That's a lie,
since like
bro.
early season 1. But either
I
way,
hosted episode 8.
oh, you have a good memory. D-Man's Pops, back at you. Unbiased Podcast. You know I got the gang with me. King Jones, Unbiased, Shav DiBiase,
The real $8 man, man.
Made 5K,
Debate champion.
Mr. Pro Fitness himself. And today, if you can't tell already from your camera lens, we got a different look for y'all. Today's episode is sponsored by Crew Cosmetics, Crew Hair Care, whatever you want to put on the end of it, make it sauce it up, spice it real good. Shav got things pumping on the table. But either way, we have a special guest, our first sponsor, Dave the Barber from King's Barbershop. Dave, how you doing today, my brother?
What's going on, man?
What's happening, kid?
So let's get right into the shit.
It's a pleasure to be here, man.
Can you tell the people about yourself? You know who you are, where you from, and we'll get into some questions.
All right, man. David Barber. My shop is located at 7339 East French Branch Road in Glen Burnie. I'm originally from Annapolis. You know what I mean? Spend my time in Broadneck area, Arnold. Been out here cutting hair for 13 years now. You know what I'm saying? I decided to take a different approach to.
So you got stay.
Let's cut it up for that,
Let me cut in here, 'cause I just said this to this nigga the other day.
What's that?
So, nigga, you keep hassling me about what I'm paying for cuts. For me and my son, I've been your client for over half of your career.
Jones, your son voice deeper than mine.
You know, fuck that.
He's a grown man. He
Raise the price on that little nigga, huh?
He wants to still pay the
He's
child
trying to pay
price.
the elementary school price.
No,
You feel
listen,
me?
I used to go to this
The
nigga
boy
house.
drive. He drive.
I used to go to this nigga
He
house.
drive.
First,
Yeah,
no, hold on. Do we drive?
Come on, yo.
Yeah.
Come on, yo.
I'm saying though, I should go to this nigga house, right?
That nigga
First of all,
permit.
I'm terrified of cats. The nigga had a white cat. It's a white
Terrified of cats.
That was my sister
terrified
cat.
cat. He had this dumbass white cat.
my
They leave the
sister
nigga
cat.
alone.
Meow ass nigga.
Huh?
I said meow ass nigga. You scared of cats?
Them bitches ain't. I don't like them, yo.
All right. Since you kicked it off first though,
My sister lives in Baltimore City. You need a cat.
that's
So
all.
absolutely.
I ain't even gonna hold you. You right.
Since you kicked it off first though, I'll let you be the first person to ask Dave a question. Give the people something they may or may not know about him. You've been a customer for half his career, so what's something that we may or may not know about Dave?
I don't know. I got a generic question. I just want to know, like,
Go for it.
what made you start like wanting to cut hair? Like, was that like always your dream?
Honestly, sort of, kind of, yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna put it to you like this: when I seen Vince Carter put his arm in the rim, yeah, my hoop dreams was over. so I had to come up with a different approach. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was always coming to Annapolis. I was up Moon, cut my hair. I like the barbershop vibe. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, this is something that I could do. That I work for myself, and I can generate. It's like a hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can make this whatever I want it to be. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying?
I got a piggyback question off of that, because since you mentioned it. Was seeing somebody like Moon, a black man owning a barbershop, was that inspiration for you to want to do that?
It's definitely an inspiration to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, Moon is. I mean, when I first started going down there, it wasn't even Moons. You know what I'm saying? It was like Unity. You know what I'm saying? Like,
True indeed.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, man, he took this over. You know what I'm saying? He made it to be something. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I could do that. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Moon, for real.
No, absolutely. Because that's what it's all about, like black ownership, being inspired by other black people, that's real.
Right. I got a question for you though. A King's Barbershop. What's the inspiration for the name? Like, why is it a King? A King's. Just to clarify.
It's a King's because there's a lot that goes into that. Okay, first of all, you know what I'm saying? My first name is David. He's a king.
King
Middle
David.
name is Barber. He's a king. My last name, my birthday is on Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted the people to realize that as far as like, well, when you come into this establishment, it's primarily black owned. Or not black owned, but black business. You know what I'm saying? Like we kings, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, come in here and respect yourself and respect ourselves as a people. And we kings. You know what I'm saying? What we do, how we talk, how we move. You know what I'm saying? Up from the oldest person to the youngest person. when you come into a barbershop, whether you know it or not, like your conversation affects the next generation.
Absolutely.
That's a big
What I respect most about that is that it's a Kings, because obviously it's never just one barber in a barbershop. So the fact that everybody in there Kings, even though somebody might be the most popular barber or the owner, all y'all Kings, I respect that.
I tell everybody to the fact, like when they say A Kings, it's not me. I'm not the king.
Right.
Y'all are the kings. I'm here to service y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is what you a king, and this is the type of quality
Right.
that you want to hear. You should come here.
So my next question would be, being that you like a business owner and you used to work in another barbershop, like the process of working there, then to owning your own barbershop, like so for people who want to like own their own shit, like you kind of like break that down for them, like how you went about that.
Man, to be completely honest, this was God. You know what I'm saying? I was working for a guy, Angelo, and he had some plans that he wanted to go about doing with his business. And long story short, I offered to buy the business off of him because I could just tell he wasn't interested anymore.
Right.
He ended up changing locations, and he gave the barbershop to my friend Jaleesa, and me and Jaleesa, like, you know what I'm saying, we worked, blah, blah, blah. Jaleesa ran into some issues with the landlord, and I had a choice to make. It was either go work for somebody else or jump out there and do my own thing. So, you know what I mean?
Yourself.
It was real crazy, you know what I'm saying? Because we had 30 days, the landlord gave us 30 days to leave, you know what I'm saying? So probably like 24 days into the 30 days, a guy comes up to me and he's like, man, Dave, why don't you go check out this spot on Furnace Branch? Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, all right, whatever, you know what I mean? Cool. I ain't really know Furnace Branch Road like that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like, if I don't know about it, it ain't no traffic over there, but just so happened, like, this is the crazy part, I was going to the Walmart on Ordnance and I made the wrong turn and ended up on Furnace Branch. Right. You know what I'm saying?
That's how
God's work for real.
For real.
Put you
I
there.
ended up on Furnace Branch. And then the next thing you know, like, I'm like, oh, this is what they was talking about. Like, oh, boom, you know what I mean? I went there, you know what I'm saying? Called the number. Landlord hit me up the same day. I'm like, man, look, I come meet with you. This was a Sunday. I told her, I said, man, I meet with you on Tuesday. Sure enough, like, went in there, signed the paperwork. I ain't had no idea what I was doing, but I just jumped out there.
Sure enough.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I had all faith, you know what I mean? I prepared the way, you know what I'm saying? And long story, before I even had the barbershop, I was already saving chairs, buying chairs, and putting them in my basement. You know what I'm saying?
Fully
Yeah, it was
hustle.
like when you first got there, there was nothing in the barbershop. It was like 2 chairs and like you should cut like all the way in the back, like where the hairstylist be at now.
Right.
I went through a long process to get that shop to where it is.
You say like now when it's like 5, 6 chairs in there compared to like how it started when it was like, nigga, you couldn't even walk up the front of the barbershop. Nigga, we ain't supposed to be in here.
Right. That's what he was telling me. He was telling me that too.
If you don't mind me asking, how many years ago was this? Like when that happened, like you finding the barbershop by mistake, like ended up on
It'll be
the
6
road.
years in May. 6 years.
And you know what's crazy? I got something to speak upon. I don't know if we was at a cookout or something, somewhere down the country.
Right.
Me and Dave first time really bumping into each other, and I beat him in, beer pong and all that. Being facts, we can talk facts.
Yourself.
So I got a whistle. Just randomly, Dave like, who cut your hair? So I say who cut my hair. And I don't know if he was saying my shit was trash or he just wanted to climb. But he's like, yo, I got my own barbershop. Come fuck with me. And you can ask him. I got in touch with him next week because I got tired of my old barber. Got me waiting an hour and a half, 2 hours, long-winded, doing whatever. I went there, hollered at him. I ain't left since. Well, I ain't left since. And I appreciate Dave, man. When I got interviews, when I had stuff, he work around the clock for me. You know what I mean? Dave, I need you. What time? 7:30. All right, I'll be here. And, he look out, man. So Dave is, if you see me in Dave's barbershop, we might look like we arguing a lot. This is my brother for real. Right. And, he been cutting my hair probably, 5 years now or something like that? So it's love.
Yeah, he still don't treat me better than his broadneck client.
No, he don't treat us better than that. And he got great barbers in there.
We got no broadneck and Average, even though we the same, it's always like a little bit of distance.
But in between us. But I got one good question for Dave though. I was in the barbershop with you recently and a guy came in and was speaking to you and he asked, what's next for the barbershop? Like what do you want next? And the answer you gave him was so remarkable that I don't even know if you want to give people game or what you want to do.
Hey, that's
but
the time today niggas use words in a sentence and normally do not go in black niggas sentence.
You know what I mean?
Dave said only available earlier, and then you said remarkable.
no, because by me being inclined in the chair and hearing Dave's response,
What was the? What was
If he wants to say it,
you know what I mean? If you want to say it, just your vision of overall vision.
I can't spit it verbatim, but you know what I mean. My next goal is to definitely just educate young brothers who just came up like me. Like, you know what I mean? If you want to get into this barber game, there's a way out. You know what I mean? We come from an area where all we know is hooping and drugs and things that don't really guarantee your success on the next level. It's a chance, it's a risk. You can get locked up, you can get injured. You know what I'm saying? This barber game, you get out of what you put into it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know what I mean? Ultimately, like, I'm dealing with the COVID, but I want to open a school and to be able to educate other brothers, you know what I'm saying, so they can go out and do what I did.
And that's crazy because that's like a perfect transition to the question that I had for you. First of all, though, I want to first establish. You said you've been cutting hair for about 13 years or so, so that means you was definitely in the loop when I personally single-handedly bought the ball side fade back. You remember that? What the fuck is they laughing for?
It's beautiful. But
You fucking what the fuck is y'all laughing for? Dave,
I'm not even, because that's something I expect from me. Like, that random shit like that.
No,
I
bought the ball side fade back in 2010.
I want to cry because
Neither way,
you showed the evidence on Facebook.
I had the evidence, yeah. I did that. I did that. But neither way, we know that's widely known. Fuck whatever they talking about.
I don't know about Wiley. No.
Internationally known. So no, but that really is a perfect transition though, because the question that I have for you is, I mean, and not to put anybody out there, but just looking through the barbershop, some of the guys that you have in there, all very well, credible barbers, very talented. Some of them have different issues from the past. So I really appreciate you being in a position to give people a second chance, more or less, in life, giving them an opportunity to be successful and still say that whatever happened in your past doesn't dictate, what you can become out of life. So how much of that do you ever really think about in terms of, what you do in the position you in to bless other people?
Ultimately, like, that's what I do this for.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like,
Inspiration.
I got people who, they come to me and they like, Dave, you could do this, you could do that. Like, your barbershop could be so much, blah, blah, blah. I said, man, listen, like, I'm not even interested in that. My job is, you know what I mean? I got felons making more than college graduates.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a blessing to me.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really concern, do I want to be the best barber in the world? I mean, of course, I'm competitive, so forth. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, my goal is to give other people an opportunity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we grow together. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
As I give you a chance, like, you benefit me, I benefit you. You know what I'm saying? You get out of your situation and you better my situation.
Right.
And at the same time, like, you know what I mean? We build off each other back.
I got two things I want to, if everybody else is done, I got two things.
I got one question.
I'm going to let Jones go, then I want to close out with two things.
We good.
My question, because we sponsored by Crew, and you've been cutting hair for a while, like, let us know about, like,
Yeah, what is this?
like,
The products that you have on our table today.
Healthy hair serum. They got a serum. They got a serum on the market.
Sound like I'm make Professor X grow hair. What the
And
fuck you got going
I
on?
actually had the,
Don't forget
you
100%.
never gave me the black joint right there, but I definitely got the silver one on deck. I
I
used
got a
that.
couple different joints.
Yeah, what is that about?
What this was.
You might want to hold it up as you tell them so people know which product is which. What's going on.
I'll bring it to. This is pandemic inspired. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That was hard.
Plans
the
fine.
world came down, we was shut down, and I had to, like, the reason I got into barbering too was another reason was because, like, okay, like, I was older, we had a recession, so I'm like, okay, I need a job that's recession proof. You know what I'm saying? Then we had a pandemic. Ain't nobody heard of no pandemic. I'm like, man, I need something that's pandemic proof, something that I can market and I don't have to be directly over my client. You know what I'm saying? So, sitting in the crib, I'm cooking breakfast. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like in my zone. You know what I mean? Like, my mind always working. I'm always trying to figure out something new to do. And I was like, man, I need something that's I don't have to be behind the chair to generate income.
Right.
So I'm like, man, what am I going to do? Whole time, Jones, he was a big part of this. I got Jones like other people, but not just Jones, but
The testers.
people are calling me like, yo, I need a haircut. I'm like,
pandemic, man.
yeah, like, yo, we in a pandemic.
I ain't
Like,
gonna fuck.
you know what I'm saying? I'm at home watching the news, cooking bacon, and 6 people died from corona, and a nigga hit me like, yo, I need a haircut. I'm like,
I know I needed one.
I'm like,
Hey, nigga like,
That corona cut, bro.
nigga,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
nigga like, yeah, I'm gonna need extra travel to you. All right, now I see you
Friday.
Friday.
We scheduled around each other. Jones like Dave on his way to me. He after me.
but that also got me to a point where I'm like, man, I'm in the service industry where like people are going to want this regardless of what's going on in the world.
Okay.
So what can I do to boost this? You know what I'm saying? Again, like I said, I'm just thinking, and I literally, no lie, this is funny how it came about. I'm cooking, I'm washing dishes. You know how when you cooking bacon, you know what I'm saying? Like the grease like lay out in the pan, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm washing dishes, I pull the stove off the pan, I look at the joint, I say, man, yo, this is greasy. And then I thought about it, I said, yeah, I can make hair grease. Like this is real simple, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is something I can literally just throw together right here, right now, and you know what I mean? Like if I put my effort into it, I can make it something beautiful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I told my son's mother, she does hair, like, now she doesn't do hair, but she makes her own hair products, you know what I'm saying? So she like hip to the joint. She didn't even tell me, you know what I mean? One day I'm researching, you know what I'm saying? I'm reading, I'm like, okay, how can I do this, blah, blah, blah. Package show up in the mail. She bought it for me.
Oh, shout out to her, man.
Shout out to the women that believe in their men, man.
Shout out to
That's
the
real shit.
queens, man. So what kind of bacon is this? What kind of bacon grease is it?
Nigga definitely ain't turkey bacon.
It ain't no bacon in there.
Ain't no bacon in there.
Pork-free products.
Right, I mean, 100%.
But no, that's fire, though. That's
That's
fire.
that's fire as shit.
But I'm in that joint, I'm like, man, like she bought me the first joint, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I got a little basic pack. Then I of course, I was reading and researching, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy the rest of the stuff. I'm gonna put this thing together, you know what I'm saying? While we still in pandemic, you know what I mean? I made a little test batch, you know what I'm saying?
Hustle.
Yeah, I gave it to
Gucci do the dishes.
I gave it to a couple friends, you know what I'm saying? Maeve was one, you know what I mean? The rest of my barbers was doing house calls at the time. I gave it to them. I'm like, man, you'll try this on your clients, tell me what you like. You know what I'm saying? And ever since then, like,
Took off.
they just took off, you know what I'm saying? Like, at first it was, you know, oh, Dave, I'm gonna buy this just to support. And then next thing you know,
Coming back.
they like, yo,
I like
I don't know what you put in
Support
there. I
turned
need
into the
it.
band, Mern turned into, getting it done.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need another can.
So,
You wrap this up.
that actually was going to be one of my last statements on it, but I'll just end it with this. I think what you showed me is inspiration of people learning how to have a skill. I don't believe college is for everybody and doing certain things is for everybody. And you trying to open a school, having your own brand, starting your own brand, been doing it for 13 years. Before you was an owner, before you was in control of your destination, you was passionate about it. So I just want to commend you for that, because I think a lot of people don't have enough believe in themselves to jump out there and do something unless somebody's telling them what to do. And you seem to be self-motivated. So you gonna stick around with us? You gonna rock out with us through each topic? You
Yeah,
gonna sit
man,
there
I'm
and give us your
here for the
expertise?
rest of the night, you know what I mean?
Okay.
The address, King's Barbershop, 7339 East Furnace Branch Road, Glen Burnie. We right next to the Champs. Come out there, you know what I'm saying? I got excellent barbers, man. Like, you know what I mean? High quality service, high quality products. And you know what I mean? We gonna
Straight
get you
like
right.
that.
You know what I mean? Treat you like a king.
We can all vouch for you, Seth and Buddy.
And I can vouch for you. Let's get it shorted.
Yeah, he told me I gotta go holler at him. So everybody, Dave the Barber, King's Barbershop, Unbiased Podcast. He's sticking around with us. We'll be back at you.
Haircuts on a regular
Check me
basis.
out. Unbiased Podcast, we back. If you didn't know, if you missed the first segment, we are sponsored by Crew Cosmetics, Crew Hair Care. Only can be found at a King's Barbershop. We have a special guest, our first guest, Dave the Barber, still on with us. But we're gonna move right into the next topic.
Where them Yeezys from?
I got these
Where the
Yeezys
hell you get them from?
YeezySupply.com.
Easy said he ain't make them.
No, Yeezy definitely made these. Yeezy
made
Supply,
those?
YeezySupply.com. I
Who's making
don't really go through other people. If you go to YeezySupply.com, it's Kanye owned. He has everything right there for you to
So he
see.
handed the money
If you have
to
any
his person.
speculation, I can take one off and you
Well,
put
this shit
it
is hand in hand.
But back to it. And since they want to bring up one brand, shout out to 400. Why Jeezy? Since they want to bring up one brand, I might as well show off my whole fit.
You just bend over in front of
You should never be
I ain't worried about that. But speaking,
squat in front of a bunch of
everybody
niggas like
squats
that.
in the gym, and niggas is in the gym too. Y'all been pausing all morning. Back to press and play. Jeezy versus Gucci.
Oh, I copyrighted that. That press play cuz?
Then you cut me off one more fucking time.
I'm just saying, that press play cuz? That's me.
You copyrighted that where? Guards?
Yeah.
Nigga,
Nigga,
niggas in Guards Project, nigga? Back to the fucking programming. Everybody in the hip hop community and hip hop culture was watching Versus this week. Jeezy and Gucci, I think, had 1.8 million at their peak.
Big
On
snow,
IG,
nigga.
Apple and
For the
YouTube
win.
was even higher. But the bigger picture was two men who've been beefing for 20 years, squashing their beef. Before I ask any specific question on it, what did you gain from that Versus?
what did I gain from it?
Yeah, you personally. What did you see? What did that do for hip hop culture?
For the hip hop culture, it did a lot. Because it can show these youngins that you can have issues like what I always say all the time. I don't have to like you. We can coexist.
Right. Especially for that band.
What I thought what happened. I thought that Jeezy musically was way better than Jeezy.
Right.
I mean Jeezy was way better than Gucci.
Right.
I said that wrong. I also think Gucci is more of a star. Like Gucci has that.
That's a fair takeaway.
Gucci has that aura that draws you to him.
Facts.
Like, I don't really think he got that much substance.
Right.
But he got that. He got it.
Shaq, what you think?
Now that's funny though. Just I mean, before I get into what I think though, that's interesting that you would say that he don't have that much substance, because even though a lot of, from what I saw, the general response was that Jeezy won, but the takeaway was Jeezy won primarily off of one album, off of that Thug Motivation 101. However, if you want to go through the whole span, their whole career, a lot of people are saying that Gucci got a more diverse catalog. He got hits from every era, hits of different sorts. You know what I mean?
That's also fair.
Some people say that, and we all can agree that Jeezy took a light on him. Music wise.
Easily.
They both went light though.
No,
They both went light.
Gucci went the way he wanted.
Gucci. But Jeezy could have done a lot more. Like it's a lot of songs.
He didn't even play his hit single.
You
And
just
then
said it
what?
yourself.
He didn't play
It's only
his
one album.
So, but this like everything else involving it, like me personally, the shit Gucci was doing, because I'm at a more mature level in my life, that shit come out makes him look small to me. But I'm 33. The nigga that's 23 may see that like, man, Gucci went hard. Like, man, fuck that nigga.
Right.
But I got told May the other day, niggas who ride with that type of like
They
actions.
they bought that energy.
Two things. Either you never been strip searched by a man, that nigga tell you drop, squat, and cough,
Talking about some jail shit.
right?
Right.
Or you fine with a nigga telling you drop, squat, and cough.
Being comfortable with the jail shit.
Right. That's
All right.
that's how I
So
feel.
I asked you one specific
Defense.
question. I asked you how it felt, because I'm gonna ask y'all 3 different questions on what you took from it. I asked you what it did for hip hop culture. Share for you, because I know you have funny takes on things. For the person that say Jeezy's a bitch for letting Gucci disrespect him for that, and the person that say Gucci won that shit because he kept it like a real nigga, what's your take on that? Who was the bitch who was a real nigga, or was they just both men standing their ground?
Yeah, no, I don't necessarily subscribe to that belief system.
Which one?
It's all perspective though. Like you just said, somebody might say,
Niggas on the road with that.
no, yeah, SATwords.com, nigga, yeah, we on it.
We grown, nigga.
Unbiased dictionary coming
Niggas said belief system.
Yeah.
Niggas said, what you say?
Remarkable, man.
Remarkable.
Words,
And
man.
niggas said
Only
only available.
available.
This nigga's wild.
So in your most intellectually perspective,
No,
break that down.
But no, so like you said, people would say
Jeezy was a bitch.
Jeezy a bitch because he let
Gucci street that nigga.
all right, or some people might even say like Freddie Gibbs, 600 Breezy, certain artists might have said
21 Savage.
Jeezy a bitch for even doing a verses or being in the same room with a nigga that smoked somebody that you cool with or that's affiliated with you, right? Here's the thing, it's perspective, because you could just as easily flip that and say, oh, do that mean that Gucci a bitch for being in the same room as somebody that tried to put a hit on you?
Well, you bodied the nigga, so I mean.
It don't matter though.
I'm rebelling with his side was
okay,
saying.
so you bodied the nigga, which when you said in self-defense because you were scared, you addressed that nigga in a moment,
Right.
but you never addressed the nigga that sent the hit.
Supposedly.
Supposedly.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Allegedly.
All you did was go to court and point the finger and
Right.
said Jeezy tried to get
Hold
me
on,
killed.
and the nigga said on camera, send some more, I send him back. That's
Gucci,
snitching.
man.
That's dry snitching at its finest. But go ahead.
So no, so my whole point is I don't think that necessarily that made Jeezy soft for being in the room, right? Because I think that whole situation is more nuanced. It's not as simple as
Right.
oh, I sent somebody to do something to you. You killed him. That was my friend. It's a lot more
No, I get it.
context to that.
Gotcha.
So
So my question to me would be, what's your take on Gucci's message when Jeezy, I'll stick with what I just said to Shad. When Gucci said that shit to Jeezy, like, yeah, nigga, I bodied your man, whatever, send him, I'll bring him back. And Jeezy took that opportunity to go strictly, nigga, I'm above that. He mentioned my real estate, all the shit he did. Then he mentioned King Von and all the niggas we've lost in the recent weeks. So, and obviously, in my mind, when I looked at Gucci's face when he said that Gucci was ready to say something, then he just shut the fuck up and went with the flow for the rest of the night.
Right.
So what did you take from that? Did you feel like Jeezy at that moment really took the opportunity to inspire these youngins, or was that like kind of like a cop out?
No, when you say inspiring, it's all in who want to hear what you saying.
Facts.
So, like you just said, a nigga could kill somebody last week. You can't tell me he squashed that. But to me, personally,
20 years,
yeah.
that's like,
But to me, personally, it was two men that made it out of a situation, no matter what side you were on. We're
Right.
millionaire bosses.
Facts.
We do not have to like each other, but we can also not promote the fact that we're not going to be shooting and trying to kill each other. We're not going
if
back.
that was the case, what was the point in even doing it? If we was gonna come here,
We're not going back.
if we was gonna come here just to butt heads again and
Right.
continue to beef, what was the point in
But,
even
but,
doing
but
it?
let me be clear with that, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Gucci has every right to
Feel
say
it.
what he said,
Absolutely.
feel how he feel,
Absolutely.
whatever. And Jeezy have every right to say I'm not on that shit no more. They still have to have a conversation. Things still have. I don't even think it's squashed. I think
Right.
they came to a place where we both met now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
I
That
ain't
was the next
saying
level of all
we
that
can
other
coexist.
shit.
Yeah,
They sat down
yeah,
before, so to me
yeah.
that was the next step.
Yeah.
But that's why I feel kind of like Gucci.
Kind of phony.
Yeah.
Why?
Because this isn't the first time that he's trying to squash the beef.
Or Jeezy's. Can't say just one.
No, I'm
Takes two.
saying, all right, for instance, we go to the first incident that we know about. Gucci called into DJ Drama radio show.
Yeah, and they spoke.
GT didn't know nothing about that.
I know these things.
Right? Now, I don't know who set up the sushi dinner.
Right. I think they ran into each other and crossed it. I think that was an
So,
insult.
T.I.
No,
They sat
like,
down in the sushi, but they spoke and then he got locked back up. But it's like,
You can't not
And
mention
then-
a birthday party in between there though, where Jeezy and T.I. was on one side and Gucci was on the other side of the club shitting and beefing. All of this was happening
I
and saying,
don't know about that.
I'm just saying.
But so then when you have Gucci saying shit after, like, why shouldn't have done that? That shows you, to me, that just shows me that the person he act like
right.
in that time between tracks 1 and 24, before they got this so icy,
Right.
isn't really him.
But let's be clear. Now that's supposedly QC said when they got in the car, Gucci said, "Yo, I shouldn't have did that." And I think that was the point of when Jeezy took the high road. You kind of addressed him like, "Yo, if you was coming here to do that, we ain't even have to do that. We could have had this conversation like Jeezy said. We could have turned all this shit off, going back and talk,
Right.
Whatever." So when you said the bitch thing, wasn't nobody a bitch. You could be rah-rah and be about what you about,
Okay,
and I could be quiet and still be about what I'm about. So I'm gonna stand on my morals, you stand on your morals.
Right.
But at the end, you realize that at the end of the day, two men respected each other.
Facts.
And
I'm just saying we ain't alone, so I was definitely gonna get to you. What's your take on all the questions I asked them, and just from a viewer standpoint, what did you get from that versus?
Me
Best
personally,
ever what?
First of all, I always view rap as entertainment first. You know what I'm saying? They came out there, you know what I mean? They put on a show. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely
It's
a show.
what everybody wanted to see. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, now, as far as their personal perspectives, it was beautiful to me because it was the fact that it was stability and growth at the same time. You know what I'm saying? As far as Gucci, like, there's some things in life you do you just can't get back. You know what I'm saying? You put a hit on my life, you put a hit on my chain that could have resulted in my life. I don't know, like we'll never be.
That's for life beef.
Yeah, we'll never be cool. You know what I'm saying? But it was also a thing for us, Jeezy. It was growth. It was like, man, you know, like that was a long time ago. You killed my man. Okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like rest in peace. But I'm willing to move forward from this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that takes a major step of maturity that most people will not and do not have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I personally, as far as music wise, Jeezy won. But as far as
what was score? What was your score? Was it?
It was 48 songs.
What was? How close was it? Let me say that. How close was it?
I stopped counting at 9-7 Jeezy.
9-7. So you had close though.
Once my man came up, this is the thing. It was like, all these versus battles, it's the selection of songs that you play. You know what I'm saying?
Cause I had it. It was they played 25 songs.
Nigga, you had 11 and 10 to 4. You was out of line.
I had 11, 9 to 4. Yeah.
Think about this.
11, 10, 4.
But I don't want to go too deep into scores because that's all opinionated. I will say I think we can all agree if this was regular times, that would probably be the biggest selling song in America right now. If it was the if it
would be.
If the world song, I don't know. In 2022, when the world opened up, I don't know.
John T-Pain tour was cranking too though.
Oh no, all of them songs would be great, but last Thursday was different.
This shit will bring out all
Thursday
the
was
trap
different.
niggas.
Thursday was different.
How y'all went to the Griselda
1.8 million,
Right.
no cutoffs.
Instagram
didn't even cut them bitches off.
And let's be real.
Is that
see how excited?
Is that the highest?
Highest by far.
Did you see how excited Gucci was when they performed that So Icy?
Both of them. Did you see Jeezy?
Oh, Jeezy. Like
Jeezy
Jeezy
was
said,
excited.
Jeezy said I never performed it. But Gucci just...
Jeezy said he forgot how hard the song
Jeezy
was.
said, let's go, nigga, one more. I think Jeezy was more excited about it. I think Jeezy won Gucci over
that's the
in that
thing,
night.
yo.
Jeezy was excited all night, I feel like. Gucci was more like, fuck this
Like I
nigga, fuck this
said,
nigga.
I feel like, of course, the beef aspect, like, that was entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Okay, boom, 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 I'm gonna get the people what they want.
I feel like Gucci.
And then, at the end of the night, once we already broke the beef.
Even though Gucci said, like, he's gonna have that shit on, and on camera, when you see
He
him,
had that shit on.
that's what he said. He
Okay,
like, I'm gonna have that shit on. And on camera, when you first see him, like, what the fuck Gucci got on? But when you see the actual picture,
nothing but Gucci and Ice.
that Gucci Cody had on,
It looked like a scar.
Fire.
Listen,
that bitch was
I want
fire.
to take Dame's last words and segue into our next topic, but I will say this about Gucci. When we talk about careers, I think Gucci's back in career, clone Gucci, new Gucci, skinny Gucci, whatever motherfuckers want to call him. His back in his career is definitely heavier than Jeezy's
He's
back
like,
end.
you know what he like?
He's more sustained who he is.
Oh, I got a fire analogy. You like Jerry West, right?
Jerry West, the basketball player?
Jerry West has one ring as a basketball player.
Great
But
example.
as executive, he's fire. He has like 10 rings.
Gucci's put a lot on.
No, 10 is probably an exaggeration. But every nigga,
Gucci
he
put a
had
lot
Shaq, Kobe, he had Magic, Lakers. He rebuilt when
Golden
Memphis.
State,
He rebuilt
No,
Golden State.
I know where you're going with
He
it.
does everything. And that's like, Gucci's like that, where like his own personal career, his own music is like,
But what he done for the
But
city of Atlanta is...
every other nigga
To me, Jeezy-
had to come through him to get on, but they still all sound like Wayne.
I think Jeezy brought hip hop to Atlanta and Gucci did more for Atlanta hip hop.
I got perspective
That's how I
though.
look at that.
To me, it's more
Wayne.
Gucci still entertainment
Wayne.
driven, like musically driven, and Jeezy is looking for different ventures outside of music.
Yeah.
I think Jeezy only raps to promote the new venture.
Right.
Like the album coming, look, I'm in charge of Def Jam or
It's
something.
enterprise,
right.
Now I got the tequila, or I'm doing real estate, or
Right.
come holler at me. I'm making different moves, and that's both Boston.
I will
look
say,
at it.
I'm gonna
Like
say
Jones said
this.
earlier, it's that star factor that Gucci has that he creates stars too.
That's a little. I think the quote unquote Jeezy falling off has been a little bit exaggerated too, though. Cause some of Jeezy's biggest shit been in the last 3 or 4 years.
Falling off for some people is just transitioning into others. He transitioned, but to the outside world is falling off.
That's because his albums aren't as good, but not to keep speaking about Jeezy and Gucci. You want to speak about the Meek shit?
Yeah, I was gonna use Dave's transition. Dave
So-
mentioned something about it taking a period of time to forgive, or he's saying if you do certain shit, you can't get it back. I don't know exactly what you was about to say, but Meek right now, and if people didn't see this publicly, it's pretty much somebody asked him why he don't put on Philly artists or help them out, and they named him a price tag. I don't remember the exact amount of money, but he pretty much saying he will offer this amount of money if North Philly, South Philly, all the different entities that beef stop beefing. And the young niggas pretty much was like, nigga, if that's how I took my brother, I'm taking their brother. So where do y'all look of all the young rappers and all the shit that's going on in hip hop right now? Was Meek wrong?
First of all, I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna say that Meek was wrong, but one thing I'm gonna kind of clarify or clean up what you said. I don't think it was necessarily in response to a fan asking Meek why you don't put on Philly art. Meek did that shit voluntarily. Meek was in the spirit of the Gucci and T.I., the Gucci and Jeezy truce and whatever else is going on. Meek tried to capitalize on the moment. He voluntarily said, I will give a record deal to the biggest artist in Philly if y'all stop beefing, if y'all call a truce, woo, 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 right? And I think that's why it wasn't taken very well, because it didn't feel genuine. It was like, people was like, man, you phony, like you just trying to capitalize on this.
Is it fair to say that the people with that mentality, the same mentality that people that say that Gucci and Jeezy wasn't genuine? Because them same type of people was the same people. Why would you stand in the room with a nigga like that? So you have to be willing to have that mentality to even have that conversation.
I'm gonna say this.
No?
To me, it's the intentions of why you were doing something. I felt like Jeezy and Gucci intentions was genuine. Like, not to go back to that, but
Right.
Gucci, like, yo, I told you if I come, I'm playing my songs.
Right.
Like, you knew, like, it wasn't.
I gotta keep it
It
on
seemed like
I'm gonna do this, I gotta be me.
It seemed like when Meek did it, in my opinion, the intentions were right. Like, I want to do good, but your actions and other things you do doesn't line up with the saying of, you know, squash the beef, I put a nigga on. It's like, nah, because you're still the same one promoting the bullshit.
And it seemed phony because they was like, I guess they ended up, you know what I mean, just to kind of extend that story, they ended up, quote unquote, banning Meek from Philly because they said that it was, you playing both sides. Like you was just in photographs chilling with the quote unquote ops while you wasn't talking that peaceful resolution shit then.
And his response was, I don't claim blocks anymore. Nigga, I'm from Philly and I've made it. I was successful. I'm trying to get y'all to think the same.
But here's the thing.
That was his response.
Don't try,
I get what you're saying.
don't try to squash beefs publicly when in private you
promote.
I ain't gonna say you promoting it, but you ain't got, you know what I
So
mean?
you feel like
You didn't even have to make that status.
you feel like
went to the hardest
privately
person.
he's doing things that's disingenuous to what he's saying publicly.
I will agree with
Good
that.
question, bro.
That's what I'm
I don't know,
asking. I'm asking y'all.
I'm not there, so I don't know. But I'm gonna say
let me ask you this.
clearly they feel that way.
What if that was their first time hearing Meek wanted them to do that?
The young boys?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, damn.
If it was the first time hearing it, then
you know what I'm saying?
that's cat.
It's all.
That's the first time hearing this
Well,
cat.
I got a real life situation, not me.
Okay.
Right.
But I know somebody. I'm not gonna say.
You definitely want your take on these questions. too.
Not gonna say their name, but I know somebody who wants a job.
Right.
The nigga who can give him the job tells him, well, I can't give you the job because you running around doing your thing.
Right.
Right? Which essentially is kind of what the white man does.
Right.
Right? So when Meek tell you, I'm not gonna give you a record deal unless you stop beefing, why Meek beefing
Has to do
is
with you
anything
wanting to
on
help
record
my
deal.
life.
If I have the talent necessary to make it out to the masses,
Because why am I okay?
Shane probably
You're,
said I was gonna say.
you're gonna say, why would you put your money behind somebody who has that type of shit going on? That's
Right.
what you're gonna say, right?
Right.
But Meek comes from that. Every rapper that we love most rappers come from that very.
Ask
thing.
T.I. how he
T.I.
feel. Ask T.I. how he
watching
feel putting money behind Meek, investing in Meek's career, Meek going to jail, fucking that.
Ask Atlanta how they feel about T.I. doing the same shit.
Huh?
Ask Atlantic. He's about to.
Oh, Atlanta. I just said Atlanta.
Atlantic.
You're right.
Ask
You're right.
Atlantic
You're right.
how they feel about T.I. doing the same
But the
shit.
difference is when T.I. came back, didn't T.I. do more business with Atlantic? Meek came back and did business with Rick Ross.
He older now.
And what
What you tell let him out that contract.
Let's get Davis to
I'm
take
gonna
on
put
this.
it like, I'm it's kind of a different perspective for me. You know what I'm saying? For take Joe's example, right? You know what I'm saying? Me, like I actually hire people, so they come from different backgrounds. They do whatever they gotta do. You know what I'm saying? I come from that area. I know where you at. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say I've been there, but I understand the mindset that you had.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But also you have to understand that if you want to get out of this, you gotta step it up a level. I'm not telling you that you're not justified for feeling the way that you do.
Right.
But something's gotta change.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Before I invest into you, me personally,
Right.
because I'm risking something that's just like you are. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Credibility of the
that's
business,
right.
the name, anything.
I'm risking something just like you are. You gotta be able to let me, you know what I'm saying?
Accountability.
Yeah. If yo walk around the corner and you say, yo, you know what I mean, blah, 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 you a man handling your business.
Right.
But you going out of your way to pay your time and attention to this situation when you could be focusing on more of what we have to do.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I think you hit it on the point because I feel like accountability is the key with most of those situations, and I feel like a lot of people will say Meek is wrong or if he said it off camera, but even if he told him off camera,
Yeah.
and even if it did become public, How do you really tell young niggas that only see what they see every day, not to defend themselves, protect their family, protect their game? This go from King Von and them shit to the Quan.
But the thing in that is that.
And I get what you're saying because me could give him that and help him get out that situation. Right. And that could change everything.
See, this is the thing I think a lot of people need to realize, you know what I'm saying? The thought process of change is a gradual thing. But the actual action of change is overnight. You know what I'm saying? So I can honestly feel some type of way and it'll gradually just jade off as I move through my life. But that night that I wake up and I say, you know what? I ain't doing this no more. That's that. Boom. That's when it changes. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I ain't tripping off y'all no more. Boom. You know what I'm saying?
No, I got you. Anything else y'all want to say on this topic?
Shad had something to say.
I just wanted to say one thing. It's funny you said the young people and all that is just like kind of what Gucci and Jeezy did, saying they did it for hip hop and the culture, and tell these young people it's just like, it's kind of like the King Von situation, not to get deep into details, but it's just like, you're a millionaire. Y'all millionaires, y'all getting money and all this, y'all don't have to go and kill each other or go looking for trouble and end up dead. So I think that was the biggest message overall with the umbrella. If you make it out, you can make a change. Even though them street ties are there, sometimes you just gotta change your environment. And it's not even just that, in life period.
Before Shad sends us home, I think the hardest part for these youngers, and it's just from the outside looking in, it's the true transition of the day-to-day. Like Dave said, it could be an overnight thing to change your mentality. Right. But for somebody like King Von, is a millionaire, had property in Atlanta, it was literally, from all the footage I've seen, his life was decided by the fact that he saw his op on the other side of the van and he could not help himself from to go punch him in his face. But literally responded to the person who we punched in the face, little homie, jumping out on the other side and shooting.
And even bigger.
He could have walked away, just like Jeezy tried to do it to 20 years of that. But I'm just saying, that mentality ain't gonna come to a 24-year-old like it's gonna come to a 40-year-old. But that's what it gotta, that's literally life and death.
And even bigger, you left another show to come here. You wasn't performing.
Oh, absolutely.
On side. You came
but the thing
looking
is,
for a problem.
and I'm gonna say this, because I'm gonna go in a whole different.
Sorry.
No, y'all two finish.
No, what I want to say, because I seen this, I actually posted this, so I'm gonna say at the end when you done.
Question.
No, I'm just gonna say, like, I was gonna go in a whole different direction, but just kind of based on what you just said, that shows you how those situations play out. When a nigga end up losing his life or something like that, it usually is a split-second decision, something that was completely avoidable. I mean, we could go
completely avoidable.
I mean, even around the corner from where I live, I don't, locally we saw on the news where, like last year when the whole shit was going on, or maybe that was earlier this year when the whole craze was going on with the Popeyes chicken sandwich, and the nigga got killed in Popeyes over a sandwich, over somebody butting in line.
Ain't that good.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like it usually is split-second decisions. Oh, this nigga butted in front of me to get a chicken sandwich, so I'm gonna steal him in his face. He gonna stab me up. Now I'm dead. Oh, it's like in reality, I could have just said, you know what? Fuck that chicken sandwich. You go ahead and get in line.
Jones said a long time ago, you never know what a person's reaction is gonna be to your actions.
People be having
And when the shit happens, but it's finna take us home.
So to take us home, I posted this the other day. The biggest prison we all live in as people is what other people think about us.
Big facts.
Ego will have you doing shit that you should not be doing.
Facts.
Just because you thinking, one, you might be like, I ain't no bitch, or two, what the people gonna say about me if this happens. What the following gonna say about me if this thing happens. At the end of the day, nobody really trying to spend their life in jail. I'm not spending my life in jail based on what the nigga across the street gonna say about me. The opinions of others should never affect you like that.
Right.
Once you get into that space in your life, you'll be happy.
Stop having bad days.
Born alone, die alone. Don't give up everything for people's opinions that really don't matter.
We'll be back a little bit more.
We right back at y'all, man. Unbiased Podcast, episode 2, season 2. If you didn't know, if you just tuning in, if you missed our first 2 segments, we are sponsored by Crew Cosmetics, Crew Hair Care.
Only available.
First guest, first sponsor, Dave the Barber, a King's Barbershop. But I also gotta let y'all know, make sure you follow us, the Unbiased Podcast Instagram page, the Unbiased Podcast Facebook page. You can follow all of us individually. King Jones 518, Unbiased Chef, Made 5K on Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook.
Dave the Barber.
Absolutely.
King the Barbershop.
You see the products, make sure you tap into my man. He's trying to get those out there to the people. It was created during the pandemic. So, shop black. So let's get right into it. West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days. Chilling out. Yeah, I know the whole song. But we're gonna get right into it. How many of y'all watched the Fresh Prince?
I did.
The reunion.
First of all, can I ask? Because I ain't watching yet.
Okay. Do you got a question?
I'm because it ain't on the Fire Stick yet. Now I don't got HBO.
HBO Max, nigga.
Yeah, what is this about, yo? How y'all got the app or you got? Or you
I got Rise of
regular,
Fire. So I got
you got regular HBO. You can watch it on regular HBO.
No, you need to get that.
So what I did is, you got the Fire Stick. I got the Fire Stick. You had to put the HBO Max on there, and then you can
Dripping on
watch.
my drip, man.
I said that shit.
But you got to have HBO on the crib to get HBO Max.
What you said, John? Sorry.
Either way, no, go ahead. I couldn't get.
No, so I'm just asking, what's our response? There's a lot of things I can pinpoint about it. We ain't seen a lot of them people in 20 years. We know Will doing good. We know Alfonso doing good. The rest of the cast.
Is he though?
Who? Carl?
Alfonso.
Carl, what the fuck you
What you been doing?
He hosts every day, Nick Cannon don't.
Facts.
Fuck. What you
Hold on,
mean?
no, real shit though.
Yeah, shout out to Nick too,
If
man.
Nick
Get my man
Cannon-
back on TV.
If Nick Cannon and Wayne Brady ain't got it,
Alfonso,
Alfonso
nigga.
got it.
Carl, is that you don't see Chris Paul commercials, nigga? That's a funny show on TV right
No,
there.
that's recent.
Don't
but
really
yeah,
Chris Paul.
No, but really, my take.
Let's not get on topic though. Let's not get on
My
topic.
takeaway from it, I'm gonna shoot straight to the end with him, and then I shouldn't call it Dark Skin Vivian.
First and
but
Viv.
The first and
The
Viv.
original.
Me personally, I feel like the show
Shit.
took a turn for the worse once she wasn't on there.
Right.
So many people
Like
say
I
that.
don't feel like light skinned baby girl.
She wasn't authentic. She wasn't organic.
First of all, she was also the fake Aunt Viv.
That's up the floor.
But she also
Y'all
was
like I take this
the,
with
she
your-
also was the fake Harriet on.
that wasn't the same. That wasn't the same.
Yo,
No, she wasn't the fake Harriet.
That wasn't the same.
Yo, I'm gonna take this
Hell
out.
no.
Yo,
I'm sorry, you're right.
The fake Harriet was Gina Mama.
I'm sorry.
y'all gonna take this beautiful moment to kill light skinned ass man, man. Let me
No,
live.
you can't even rock like that.
No,
You can't rock.
no.
You cannot
Yeah,
rock like that.
no.
You cannot rock like that.
Let's be real. Light skinned women get like they be like 7.5.
about to take this
Niggas
out.
boost them up like 8.75. Fuck that.
Yo, you about to
Light
take this
skinned
somewhere
all
else.
Viv, we taking this bitch down. Dark skinned all Viv, we giving her a boost up. That's what we
Yo,
doing today.
the Aunt Viv character was not important.
I got one question before I move on.
No, light skinned Aunt Viv was not important.
The father episode, who was the mother?
Light skinned Aunt
Light
Viv.
skin Aunt Viv.
A lot of impactful episodes happened with light skin and Viv. No, she wasn't better than dark skin. No, she wasn't. Dark skin had way more personality.
She pooped.
She was way more charismatic.
Alright.
But you can't say that it wasn't great Fresh Prince. Y'all said the show went downhill. Some of the most memorable Fresh Prince episodes
No.
ever happened with her as mom.
No, we got the
Yes.
shit with like Malcolm with the
I ain't saying dark skin and Viv did that once.
Dark skin Aunt Viv brought a different dynamic to the
I
show.
agree 100%.
But what I was about to say was, all these years later, like we spoke about off camera,
Right.
That's something horrible.
That's a problem.
that hurt and the pain that it can cause, because he got all this power at 22 years old.
Right?
She's going through a tumultuous relationship,
Right.
and him saying she's difficult to work with, how much it impacted her life. We ain't seen dark skin Aunt Viv in shit in 25 years.
Well, no, I've seen her bad mouthing Will in public and
You
him
saying
bad mouthing her
that?
for years.
You can't say that.
That's
You
it.
can't. You put that on Will.
No, I'm not. No.
How does that got anything to do with light skin?
I'm glad you said that.
No. We
Are we done with light skin and Viv?
No, we talking about the Viv.
I'm glad.
I'm not putting everything on Will, because I do think she got some shit with her. I'm just saying, and just in general, just as an adult now, of how.
Nobody's
how much-
checking for
Maybe I gotta
how-
watch it first.
How
Maybe I gotta watch
much?
it first.
How much? Because like, Will said she was difficult to work with.
I can see that.
Fresh Prince saying that?
No, where I can see that she's difficult. Him saying that at that time with that amount of power
Cast a certain
killed her career.
And then to piggyback off what Joe said, like you kind of see what happened with Monique, how people started talking about her, and we haven't seen her since. And
He had way more of a career than Aunt Viv. Look how quickly they got her from
And
the
I'm gonna
body.
say this: the one thing, and you said how you can put that all on Will, because truthfully, Will just put it all on himself. Will took it.
Yeah.
He accepted it.
He manned up.
He went and did a red table talk to even speak about
He
it.
manned up all the way.
Yeah, so Will really took accountability, because at that time, dark skin on Viv, and I'm Janet.
Yeah, you gotta call her
Janet.
Janet.
She was pregnant. she was in a domestic relationship.
She was going through a lot at home.
She was going through a lot, and Will only cared about
Her baby daddy was broke.
Yeah, and Will only cared about, and Will even said it like, "Damn, I fucked up." That's basically what he said without saying it. But the thing about the reunion that was amazing to me was, even though Fresh Prince, Will was the star of the show, James Avery ran that show, top to bottom. He was the backbone, the heartbeat of that show, and
R.I.P.
just to see that response to Uncle Phil,
Rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
just to see that response to Tatiana Ali crying, can't stop, like the whole cast was truly devastated by
She
Uncle
top
Phil not being
two,
there.
all-time TV.
Nah, man. Oh,
That too?
and
First things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
and
For real.
what's her name?
Her and Claire.
Karen Parsons, Hillary.
Who bad in
Yeah.
that?
To see how she aged, and I'm thinking like, damn, Hillary that old? Hillary 54 years
Fire.
old. These people are really grown.
Fun fact, my mom mentioned that she does a lot of like things for underprivileged kids.
Who?
Like she from Hillary Banks.
Hillary.
I don't know none of their real names, so
Karen
excuse me if I
Parsons.
call y'all by
Karen
Karen Parsons. She does a lot. Because the first thing I said when you see shows like that is the first thing you see is like, for one, everybody's normal black, but when you become a celebrity, it's like people act like you're just different from everybody else. And you can see, obviously, Will's doing well, Alfonso's doing well, and then the rest of them, you don't know what they doing, so you just look at them and be like, what the fuck Jeffrey been doing? What the fuck light skin? I ain't seen light skin that Viv and nothing since Fresh Prince. Same thing with none of them really.
Really, Ashley went to Tatiana Ali didn't she had a little music career.
No, Tatiana Ali definitely had a little career afterwards.
I think she went to
They do little small
She
shit.
at Harvard, I think.
But it's like, what I got from that, what most people don't realize about TV shows and actors, period, is that when you on a show that sustains good success, that really become your family. And if you ain't the star, it's like they all knew Will was gonna blow up. They all knew that he was
From the
gonna be out of
jump.
here.
From the jump.
But their careers was really that show. So like that reunion, to me that'd be like my favorite moments about shit like that, because that moment be more so about the people that no one cares about. We all checking for Will Smith, and then Carl obviously made his career pop back up. But the people that you don't see day by day all the time, that to me was the best part about the reunion. Because those people don't be having much going on.
Can we be honest real quick and Shad gonna love this?
What's that?
Will really couldn't act. And he even
Oh, in the beginning, he was mouthing words and shit. He was horrible. You didn't watch. He was horrible.
he got excited here. He got excited.
I've been saying it. Nigga, I don't get excited for telling y'all some shit I already knew.
That's how Will was. Talk. That's how Will was. Go ahead, say something.
Say anything.
What was the
The nigga.
He knew everybody roles. That's how I knew he was gonna be great. You learned everybody roles.
That's the only way you can act.
verbatim.
That's
You
the
that
only way you
nigga.
can
He
act.
learned
He
everybody.
used to tell them when they messed up, like, that ain't
Everybody.
word.
And he hated it. By episode 5, he was like, stop.
Jazz might be like, I like KFC chicken. We'll be like, I like.
Yeah, that shit was horrible. But listen,
It was horrible.
I think we all say how we felt about it, but since we on Fresh Prince, just to keep it nostalgic, if y'all can do it. Dave didn't watch it yet, you didn't watch it yet. But if y'all can, before we move on, off the break, best Fresh Prince episode ever. I ain't gonna cheat and do the one with the father. I think everybody would
That's
do that.
top 10.
Mine is the one when he was dating Stacey Lattisaw. Whoever the fuck he was dating and they went to the concert.
Oh, the older
Stacey
one.
Dash.
No, it wasn't Stacey Dash. It was,
Oh, who was he
No.
dating?
it was Vanessa. Was it Vanessa?
Man, that shit was everything.
In the limo when he was ready not to run.
Yeah,
No, all I do. Was this all I do?
No, Stacey Dash.
He was ready not one of them
was
up.
pregnant.
Well, we pretty much just said Will Smith had every bad bitch on
Oh,
the
he
show
back.
ever before they blow up.
Queen
Hold on.
Latifah.
My
What's your
favorite,
favorite?
my favorite joint is when Carlton was hanging that jazz shit, like
Oh.
Carlton flip rolls.
What's up, yo?
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite
That is
joint.
classic, Chad.
No, all right, that's a good one right there. Though.
Nobody say the fall episode.
Yeah, we know that's top 10.
My favorite
God
episode. My favorite episode was the one when they went to go to when they had the money stuffed in their back pocket when they was like in the little cave when they was lost in the cave and shit.
That was my shit too.
That is classic. That shit's hilarious.
That shit was trippy.
That's early. See, the early seasons was like special.
I'm gonna be honest. For me, it's kind of more on the emotional side of the episode.
That's what made that one of the best shows ever. The fact that he had emotional episodes.
I love that Fresh Prince always showed two different sides.
Right.
Like y'all the prude, y'all Bel Air, like
It had
y'all
levels.
the bougie, and I'm from the trap,
It had
and it
levels.
meshed in the middle. The episode when they got pulled over. And they went to court like, no, we good, man. Everything's straight.
Thought it was nothing.
We
It was
good,
like,
whatever. And then we're like, nigga, put your hands on the wheel. I'm from Philly. This how. And then Uncle Phil came down there and schooled the whole department.
Oh, when he started to have y'all in litigation for fucking
Yeah, I had
that's
y'all
real.
kids in litigation.
Yeah.
That one in the episode with Will got shot, and Carlton was just like,
That was real.
Carlton did that thing.
you owe me.
But he sling that iron, wasn't it?
And the great thing about it is,
Carlton's a real one.
no, and the great thing about it is, over the years of seeing the transitions of character, Will became more like a Bel Air person, and Carlton had a switch. Like,
He got tougher.
and that's the unique thing about life.
When they heard Ashley on the intercom when he lose her virginity.
Oh yeah,
It's true. Dave?
Tappan Campbell was on there too.
I was gonna go with the chef.
You gotta pick another one. You gotta pick another one.
When they got stuck in the cave, that joke was lunch. They found that bread. I would have done the same.
That shit classic. That shit
I would
classic.
definitely would have pocketed that joke.
Oh,
You got one
I
up?
gotta go with another one. I might. One of my favorite personally. When they was in the pool hall and the young
Bring out Lucille?
You really think Uncle Phil had that in him for real? You know what I'm saying? Like, he came up there.
They go back to what Dave said. King David was that
and
nigga.
Uncle Phil always said, like, I'm from the street. I made it out. I know what you've been
He
through.
always told me that shit.
That was lovely. And Boys II Men episode was fire too. He made that thing.
The one with
When Nikki christened, when he told,
that was
Oh,
fine.
that's
everybody
late
had,
episode.
everybody
That's
had
late
good
episode.
gifts. He ain't had shit. He like, I got Boys II Men, nigga. And he fucked the nigga girl, bro.
Shot the video when he
Oh, in the crib?
Oh, fuck the
Yeah. Classic.
That shit was.
Will Smith, man, Fresh Prince
And
of Bel-Air is an absolute
and
gem.
the ducky joint when he
He was like, hey, I was just trying to go to my room. They're like, what was you doing? I was trying to be in the video.
Hey,
Right.
You know one of my favorites personally?
I saw the video.
That's most of women today. The motherfucking Attic episode with Gina when she took every fucking thing off.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The nails,
Yeah,
the hair, the eyes.
And on the tricycle, girl, getting
on my nerves.
Yo, how's Will not the goat, nigga? You tripping? Will the goat,
The
man.
pool party drunk was fire too. But when they went court over the pool party shit, as the landlord.
That was fire.
Too many.
Classic.
No, yeah.
I think we all can say
It ain't better than Martin, but it's definitely
You
second.
done brought it
It's
in
second.
here and I
It's
let it
second.
go. You
Alright,
try to
alright,
sneak it
that's
in here.
Just to be honest,
I think we can all agree.
Second all
Just to be
time.
honest, when you look back at it, and you know, unfortunately, if Martin was to do a reunion, we won't have Tommy there. But to see Fresh Prince, I love Martin better, but the impact of Fresh Prince might be more.
I will always break it down to this before.
And I'm being honest.
I'm just breaking it down
being
like
honest.
this. Both classic
From the
shows.
shoes-
It showed the family structure.
But with
Martin,
Fresh
it was
Prince,
rejuvenating.
But Jordan was sending Will exclusives that literally come out right now.
6 weeks in
Six
your
weeks
show
in
was
advance.
never Quincy Jones, man. Like
Quincy Jones.
that whole Fresh Prince startup, the stories that they told on that,
The story.
it's legendary.
Because I'm into
No,
shit
like
like
when
that.
you watch it and like
I'm
how
into the
well
why.
it's audition,
I knew,
Quincy Jones.
I knew basically
led into a
everything
party.
they told us on the reunion.
Turn that nigga look.
Right. Even the
Everybody that needs us
one
to
thing I
get
didn't
this
know.
on. And remember, we got
I
5
didn't
minutes.
know Carlton slid across that floor.
No, that's my
And nigga
my
came out there
favorite
just called
shit.
jazz like yo, we on a
Yeah.
TV show.
No,
I didn't know
when
you did
Carlton
that.
slid across the floor.
Oh yeah, real moment.
That was
shit
real.
made me laugh
I didn't know
every
that.
time I see it.
And when they said they
Like a
put,
little dog.
and they said,
No, that nigga slap.
and when they said he pushed the limits of going to do things that you
What's
can't
that called,
do
the fourth
on
wall?
The fourth wall. He
Yeah.
went.
Carlton.
Yeah,
You gotta watch it, Shan Dave. Y'all gotta watch it.
It's
man.
amazing. It's amazing,
real
man.
good.
Shout out to Will. Rest in
Yeah.
peace, Uncle Phil.
So we gonna move right into it. We gonna keep it moving. You know how we close our shows. You know what it is. It's been a great second episode of season 2. Once again, want to thank Dave the Barber, King's Barbershop, for coming on, brother.
Yeah.
Once again, this episode is sponsored by Crew Cosmetics, Crew Hair Care,
Let's see what she smelled like.
Crew etc.
Turkey
What that
bacon.
smell like? What that thing smell like, baby?
All y'all take one of them.
Oh, we get to keep it?
Yeah, you get to keep
No,
it.
Oh, much love.
I'm gonna need
Especially
this.
you.
Can y'all leave it to the show? Oh, goddamn.
It's
My shit,
organic,
my shit almost gone.
cruelty free.
But y'all know how we
See
in
how
that
you biting
show.
over it? It's that good.
All they give was an empty bottle.
Give you the liver.
Not on the camera.
You can get yours by the other side. I always have to show
The different style.
Tell y'all, man.
That's just the left shoe.
I'm telling y'all already.
No wonder why the shit kept falling. Ain't nothing in that bitch.
But let's go.
But listen, y'all know how we end our shows, man. We want to thank y'all for tuning in. Episode 2, season 2. But you know how we give it up.
You know how we
Final
give it up.
words. Does anybody want to participate starting off? Y'all want me to kick it off?
Dave, that's on you.
You know how we give it up.
That Dave go last.
Final words.
That Dave go last.
That Dave go last. So you get it.
Let me go first. It's
No,
all-
go first.
Hey, guess first. Guess
You
first.
know what I mean?
How you giving? Who you giving it up to?
Man, I want to give it up to anybody out here right now. If you trying to get into this entrepreneur game, you try and get your hustle out, try and get your product out, anything, you know what I'm saying? Believe in yourself, yo. I know it's tough, I know it's hard. It's a lot of times that you might feel defeated and you might feel like this ain't gonna work how I want it to work. Jump out there, for real. I'm telling you, I'm a proof and the product of this. Like, yo, jump out there, and it's gonna. Life is. You get out of it what you put into it.
Facts.
So make sure that you know, give it everything you got. You know what I'm saying? And if you fail, and somebody bring up your failure, they just a hater, straight up.
Damn, that shit went last.
Keep y'all foot on the gas.
That was too hard.
How you follow that up? Bro, we gonna see,
I
baby.
gotta go bigger.
Take it off a notch, baby boy.
Now, I know, like Dave said, it's a pandemic, and we've been going through a real turmoil time in America at this moment. So, the election just happened, and we know who won. We know Biden or whatever won. But I gotta shout out the black people that made so much history during this election.
Talk to 'em.
So Kamala Harris, the first
Female
HBCU
black
graduate, AKA, is the VP. Stacey Abrams for doing the work she did in Atlanta,
Did that.
getting over 800,000 newly registered voters.
Shout out to Stacey Abrams.
It was big, and
Changed the whole election.
I also got a shout out. I don't even know their names, but it was a few more black people that came into office and did their thing.
The gentleman in New York, the gay guy.
Yeah, I'm unsure. I don't know,
First
you know,
homosexual.
the LBG, you know, it's just major for black people.
Hey.
So for the people, what?
Niggas got so many letters you can't say it, huh? Niggas say LB. Yeah, so many.
Yeah, you know, I just gave him the hand movement.
LB, you know, T, you know.
But we gotta be truthful though, man. We gotta shout out the black people because so many people say like, I vote for man.
Absolutely.
None of that shit, man.
We changed this election.
We changed the election.
Don't
We
make
flipped states. We put black women in power, man. Let's keep that shit going.
Don't let them tell you anything less. I worry
Shout out
about
to us, man. The black people.
Jumping right on the back of that, pause. I got it.
Jumping right on the back of that.
No, but no, straight up though, I gotta just to kind of continue what he was saying though, like who I want to give it up to, man, and this is kind of on the heels of what happened with the election, especially you gotta give it to the major inner cities, Detroit, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Atlanta,
Come on.
you know, Vegas, all of these urban areas that really tilted the election. So gotta give it up to them. On that
Hispanics as well.
On that same token, I want to give it up to hip hop culture. And the thing is, I really realized this. We was talking in the group chat, especially after the Jeezy versus Gucci verses. That shit was just so powerful. It was broadcast and promoted on ESPN, CNN, major news networks. That shit just show you
Took over the world.
We run this
how our culture, this culture that represents us, that we represent it show outside of hip hop culture, you would never see people that look like us, that talk like us, that behave like us, represented in mainstream media.
Facts.
And I just want to say, it's a powerful feeling, bro.
Well said, brother.
I'm gonna piggyback off of kind of what May was going with it. I'm gonna just give it up to black women in general.
Facts.
Like me myself, like I don't know where I would be in life without black women in my corner.
Right.
Big fact.
Like I feel like black women are like the most like marginalized people.
Backboners, baby.
Words. He's coming out. He was holding that boy.
I thought about that on the fly too.
They marginalized.
Right?
I'm by Tuck Horse coming in.
You see it?
But black women,
Talking shit.
they really hold us down in so many ways.
Facts.
Because a lot of us really ain't shit. We really don't deserve their love.
We all products of black women. Everybody up here. All
Right.
products of
I
black women.
deserve to be loved.
I'm just saying like when you said like this because I was gonna go with Kamala Harris.
Yeah, amazing.
You see her, you see Tamika Mallory.
My God,
You see
Tamika.
Stacey Abrams.
Tamika, I forgot
Like,
about
I
Tamika.
keep
I'm
forgetting the
sorry.
other
Right.
Atlanta lady.
You see.
Oh, the mayor, Keisha.
Keisha Knight.
Keisha, no, Keisha Knight is the Cosby girl. That's really, niggas talking about really. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Keisha Bottom or some shit like that.
Keisha last bottom, something like that.
Right?
Yeah.
You see women like this
Salute.
who like they doing shit and pushing the culture forward. Not just culture, like black culture, just pushing the world. It's pushing the world forward. Not everybody know like if you got a right, you can make the most out of it.
Right.
It's nothing like, to me personally, black women are the most beautiful people on earth.
Right. And they constantly pushing us, man, forward, man. Like Dave said, he came home and the pattern was there. I'm talking about it.
Right.
She did it. That's love.
Going full circle.
That's love. That's love.
He talking about ideas. She make this shit happen for him.
Right.
So shout out, to his son, mother.
They go above and beyond for us.
Shout out
Sometimes
to
they don't appreciate it, man. So
Where would I be without my baby?
Yeah.
So last but not least,
crazy.
y'all niggas crazy. My final words. I co-hosted my first ever town hall ever, health, wealth, education, unity in the community. This past Thursday, there was a lot going on, so I know a lot of people didn't get a chance to watch it. Video will be coming from there soon, but I want to give it up to Diva the Voice, Troy Stansbury, and Annapolis LOC.
Hey, baby.
That's that's been doing Bywater's legend, but that's been doing a lot for the community, and for me, it was very special, and I felt it was my privilege to be a part of something so special that touched on so many different things, from mental health, physical health, so to Miss Nafisa Muhammad, Miss Carlisa Finney, my aunt Michelle Coates, Darius Stanton, Mr. Charles, Troy, obviously, because you put it all together, and last but not least, Diva. You've been doing this to me. You were like the staple of hosting things in Annapolis forever, and I always looked at you as like, damn, one day I want to be the person that's like known as that person in the city to go to as a host. And just thanks for bringing me in to that. So I want to give it up to y'all and everybody that's pushing. From what Dave said about young entrepreneurs, to what May said about young blacks in politics, to what Shav said about hip hop culture. It's all black, baby. We don't crack. We gonna keep on riding. My phone been dropping on episode. But I stay focused. Final words. I'm gonna start it off since I was the first. We'll let Dave finish since he started. Oh, you wanna finish? I always want to finish.
I always go last.
So my final words, I'll go first. My final words is believe in yourself and keep striving to be the best you. Day in and day out. 2021 is coming. 2020 is coming to an end. Going to 2021 with self-belief. That's it.
Go to Dave.
Or Shay.
we got some last words.
Me?
Yeah, man. Just
Man,
something.
my last words,
Swing through.
hustle. Hustle, 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 hustle.
Hard.
Get it in, get it how you live, give it everything you got.
Hey, my last word is gonna be as you see, the Gucci and Jeezy thing, man. It's cool. You can have issues with somebody, but it's also cool to still make it back home at night.
Big facts.
So that's all I gotta say. Make it back home, man.
It's cool to be living.
Man, just to follow that up, man, like my man said, hustle, like my man said, grind, like every day, you said, strive to be your best self. So I just want to kind of hone in with that same mentality, bro. Like if you're not getting better, then you're getting worse, because like the world not stopping around you. So I know make a lot of jokes and shit like what niggas did over the last year. So we've been literally locked down for a year, bro. Like if you have not grown over this last year, it's wasted opportunity, bro. I would just encourage you guys to do that same thing moving forward, man. Like if you're not getting better every day, what are you doing?
Don't waste time. It keeps ticking.
In the words of the great prophet Jeezy, nigga said, who knows? What?
I already know what you're about to say.
I don't even know what Jeezy said.
See, let's get it out.
No. Nigga really said, niggas will say anything and you believe it too. I believe in myself, you believe in you. So I said that my last words are, anything that you want to do in life, you can do it. It don't matter what your sister say, what your brother say, what mama say, what daddy say, what your cuz say, your best friend do it every day. If you believe in yourself, you can accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish.
Unbiased Podcast, Season 2, Episode 2. Let's get it!
And I gotta be honest. Gucci bodied Jeezy on that So Icy, if you listen to her.
No.
She did get my wrist. She did